Hello lovely people, how are you all doing today? I hope you are well. I am just kind of thawing out a bit. I've had to take a couple of layers off. I've been outside for a few hours this morning in the garden. Gosh, it was chilly, but it was beautiful. So actually coming inside now, I suddenly feel really warm. Still got my gloves on though. Layers ready to put back on if needed. But we've got a bit of sunshine today and it's coming through that lovely south-facing window of mine, and boy oh boy, what a difference it makes. Sorry, itchy schnozzle. What a difference it makes to the temperature just for a bit of sunshine on a window. Yay! I popped the heating on too. It's like I didn't put it on this morning. I would normally have it on for an hour in the morning. I didn't bother because I got up, got myself going and got to the garden first thing, playing catch up. Anyway, so I'm nice and snug. I did some filming today, so that's been edited and it's uploading. Well, I hope it's uploading because the editing program I use kept flashing up, this is a demonstration, this is a what are you talking about? I've been using you for 3 years. Got to the save bit to render it and it said, would you like to buy this program? And it's like, well, I'm going to have to, aren't I? Because I need it to edit. Anyway, fingers crossed, touch wood, it's all working. It's in the rendering stage. That'll take an hour and 40 minutes. Maybe with the new program it might be faster. Anyway, so I thought let's just have a little moment to breathe. We'll have a chat and then I'm going to get on with other stuff this afternoon. So today, actually, before I go any further with today's chat, I want to say thank you for this really cute card that came from Sue. It says, sometimes life is just a kick in the pants. It made me laugh. Thank you so much, Sue. And then it says, other times it's a blunt force blow to the rump, sending you over a cliff, down a ravine and onto the top of a bunch of giant cacti. But I know that even that could never keep someone like you down for long. Yay! Too right, Sue. I love that. I think that's that's the attitude for life, isn't it? That even when you get, a blunt force blow to the rump that sends you over a cliff, down a ravine and lands on a giant cactus, you know what? We get back up and pull the cactus thorns out of our bum and just carry on. Carry on. I love that. It brought I chuckled. I actually chuckled out loud. So, I mentioned in the Hug video and other stuff, I'm spending more time indoors now because it's winter. Yay! Although going outdoors a couple of times this week, I'm popping to the garden, doing a small job at a time, get it done, get home, get on with the rest of the day. It's a bit of fresh air, a bit of light, a bit of cold, come home, feel cozy. So because of that, whatever I'm working on, whatever I'm doing, I tend to like during the daytime anyway, not so much first thing in the morning and not so much at night when I'm reading, obviously, but I kind of like a bit of noise going on at the same time while I'm at home. So, that knee's got the cold in it. I might play music. I quite often play music, but more often than not, I go online. So whatever I'm doing, let's say I'm photographing stock for the shop, or I'm pressing stuff, or I'm sewing, whatever it is. I bring my computer in here and I'll go to one of my favourite hubs. The Channel 4 hub, Channel 5 hub and the ITV hubs are my go-tos. So it's ITVX, the Channel 5 hub is called, I think, My 5, and the Channel 4 hub, I can't remember what it's called. But they are my go-tos, and they're my go-tos in the middle of the night when I can't sleep. I'm talking like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Great, I can get tons of entertainment for free. Yay, it's all free. The only thing is, there are adverts, and unlike, say, my ads on YouTube, you can't skip them. You know, I've mentioned this before, I don't mind if having some ad breaks means I can get entertainment for free. I don't care. And frankly, sorry, excuse me, I'm quite thirsty having come back from the garden. And quite frankly, I'm not really watching them anyway. When they come on, I'm either gonna, if I'm sitting watching something, if it's the middle of the night once, if I'm sitting watching, the ads come on, I get up, I do something, I have a stretch, I have a little walk around, keep moving. So yeah, it's a small price to pay, is my attitude. But I'm going to have a little, I made a note of a couple of them. There have been a couple of ads recently that just get my giddy goat. And I'm sure they'll get yours too. I'm sure some of you have seen them and they get your giddy goat too. I am perfectly happy with getting older, aging, you know, everything changes. It's all fine. I'm getting older. I'm not supposed to look 20 when I'm in my 50s. It's all fine. I saw an ad the other day for a face cream that just made my ears blow some steam out, my eyeballs roll around in my head, and my teeth go grind, grind, grind. It's an advert for a skincare. It's a skin cream. I wrote something down because I thought I've got to quote this. So, in the advert, this, it's not a model, not an actress, it's what they call an influencer. It's someone who does social media and makes money out of it. So, I guess it's someone who goes online and says, oh, look at my lovely new crock pot. You could have one too if you apply such and such a code. You know the kind of gig I'm talking about. And let's face it, we live in an age now where, I mean, I do it. I make a bit of money from YouTube. Not a fortune, certainly not enough to live on, but social media is a job these days. You know, and people say to me, oh, why don't you just stop moaning and get a job? Well, I have a job. I have lots of jobs. I film, I farm, I sew. Anyway, back to this advert for a skin cream. The strap goes, she says right at the beginning, want to know my skin secret? And later on it goes on to talk about, what did she say? It's for firmer, younger looking skin. So I didn't know the lass who's featuring in the video, and I don't have any issues with her. She looks like a nice young woman, nice and smiley, what have you. But because I didn't know her, I Googled her. And she made this advert, I believe she was 28. 28 years old, saying, do you want to know my skin secret? I know what your skin secret is. You're only 28. You know, if she was 58 or 68 or 78 with that kind of skin, yeah, tell me your secret. What an absurd advert. Do you want to know my secret? The secret is you're young. That's not a secret. For firmer, younger looking skin, if her skin was any firmer, any younger looking, she'd be in nappies still. Diapers to my American friends. I mean, how ridiculous. Now, that's not to say I don't think that we shouldn't care for our skin throughout our life. I'm not saying that a 28-year-old doesn't need skincare. Think about when you've given your baby a bath and then you slather your baby in olive oil afterwards. We're looking after our skin from the minute we're born to the minute we die. It's just the idea of a 28-year-old asking me if I want to know her skin care secret. There is no secret. You're still a baby. Ridiculous. But then, I'm going to spiral now on adverts. Then I didn't actually see, so it's one of those occasions when the ads kick in, I was either working at the time anyway, or the ads kicked in, so I got up and started moving around. So I only heard it, so I don't know what the brand is. But the advert was for, okay, foundation. So for anyone who doesn't know, foundation, it's that stuff you put all over the entirety of your face. I never use it. To kind of even out your skin tone, cover up freckles, marks, whatever it is. All that stuff, and it's over your entire face, foundation. So this advert was for 35-hour foundation. 35 hours with all of that on your face. I thought about it and I thought, imagine getting up at 7 o'clock on you get up, say you get up at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning to go to work at, 7:30. About 7 o'clock, you put your face on. And I don't have an issue with makeup per se and people wearing it. I always put on a bit of eyeliner and mascara for my videos just to make my eyes more visible, because we communicate with our faces. So I don't have an issue with makeup per se. But going back to our lass who's going, it might be a lad. But let's say she whacks her makeup on, foundation at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning, commutes to work, dirty buses, dirty tubes, what have you, does her day in the office, all sorts of people chatting and spittle landing on her face, small particles, whatever. Then goes home in the evening, back onto the dirty commute, gets home, cooks dinner, maybe watches a movie, perhaps doesn't watch a movie, doesn't cook dinner, but after work goes straight to the gym, does an hour's workout, sweat, then goes home, cooks a dinner, watches a film, goes to bed without having a wash, without taking it all off and having a wash, and then next morning gets up at 6, ready for work, 7 o'clock. I don't need to put my foundation on because I only put it on 24 hours ago. I've got another 11 hours with this foundation. Dirty commute, day at work, people talking, spittle, coming home on the commute, and finally at 6 o'clock on Tuesday evening, takes the makeup off. It just so gave me the ick. I thought I'd misheard it. I heard the advert again sometime later, I can't remember how long later, and I heard it again. 35-hour foundation. It's just, it's one of those things, I think, where the company, they're competing, and it's an incredibly competitive market, I would imagine. So they've got to have something new to say. They've got to have a new product to put onto the market. So there have been, for a time, 24-hour foundations, which I found equally ick. But now 35. The idea of sleeping with my face covered in all that stuff still after my day and not having a wash. Go to the gym, don't have a wash. It's really, yeah. I don't think I would say I don't know a single person who needs foundation for 35 hours. Unless you're doing a marathon of some sort. But even then, it's like, just don't wear foundation, let your skin breathe. Anyway. But the other thing with ads, it's that time of year, the blooming Christmas ads. Now, I have to say, I've never understood the excitement. I understand the excitement about Christmas, but not Christmas ads. And I think quite possibly media and the press have done it. I don't think, certainly amongst my friends, none of my friends talk about Christmas adverts. None of my friends have messaged me, phoned me, seen me in the street and said, "Oh, have you seen the latest Christmas advert from?" Yeah, so I think it's a bit of a media-driven thing. But about, I don't know how long ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, John Lewis did a Christmas advert. So for those of you outside of the UK, John Lewis is a department store. You can buy a fridge freezer there. You can buy Christmas baubles at this time of year. You can buy clothes there. You can buy kids' toys. You can buy, fabric and haberdashery. So there's a branch of John Lewis in the middle of Sloane Square. Not in the middle of the square, on the edge of Sloane Square. It's actually called Peter Jones, but it's John Lewis, that has had a fantastic fabric and haberdashery department. I used to go there all the time. It was on my way to work when I was at the bookshop. So I'd walk past it in the morning, walk past it in the evening. Sometimes if I was doing a slightly later shift, I could go in there on my way to work, or if I'd done a really, really early shift, I could go in there on my way home. Anyway, it's a department store. So they made a video, I don't know, like I said, 10, 12, 15 years or so ago. And it was, as adverts go, it was a very sweet, charming advert. I think the one that kicked it all off was an animation, sort of using sort of watercolour. It looked rather like Watership Down. Remember that film? Oh, it was such a great film. It was very sweet. It had some lovely tinkly music in the background, which is a little bit like, it's going to be a little bit sad for these woodland creatures, but oh no, it was happy at the end. And I think that's what kicked it off. There was this big brouhaha about, isn't it a fantastic advert? It's so moving. People were talking about it like it was a really important film, an Oscar film, whatever. Anyway, since then, some of the other supermarkets got on board, the big supermarkets, and they've all done, it's so formulaic, it's tragic. They do the same thing. They try to make these adverts which are, oh no, there's a bit of jeopardy. Oh no, something sad is going to happen. Oh, someone's going to be lonely and hurt this Christmas, and cue the violin music. And I can't take it. It's too much. I can't bear it. It's too sad. Quick, I must go to the supermarket and buy some carrots, and that'll save Christmas. It's just ridiculous. It's the overt and obvious trying to tug at our heartstrings. It's so manipulative and exploitative. I can't stand any of it. But it reached a new level this year. This is so ridiculous. I've only heard about this through the media. I didn't actually see it when it happened. But let's remember, these are adverts to go on telly in the breaks between the programme we've chosen to watch. We don't choose the adverts, they just appear. And what are they advertising? They're basically flogging, Christmas food or toys for Christmas or a jumper for Christmas. It's flogging stuff. It's just a shop that's trying to flog stuff. But this year, with the John Lewis advert, they took it one step further. So yes, there is a Christmas advert from John Lewis. It's weird. But there was one, and apparently it was even talked about in the press, as in the press said, watch channel whatever tonight at 9:00 for a trailer of the advert. So it's not even the advert, it's a trailer for the advert. This is, to me, it's some level of crazy when we have a trailer for an advert that's just flogging blimmin' carrots and jumpers at Christmas. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of my British friends will have seen that, or not necessarily seen the trailer or even the advert, but have seen in the press that, so now as a family, let's all sit down to watch telly tonight so we can see a 20-second trailer for a 1-minute advert for a shop selling carrots. I don't know, I was going to say maybe that took things too far this year, and next year people will calm down and we won't have all this silly nonsense with adverts trying to make us cry. But on the other hand, I do think, I'm talking about it myself, aren't I? So I'm contributing to it maybe. I hope I'm not contributing to the yay hype, but rather the, give it a break. It would be great next year if we didn't have all of that nonsense. I have a feeling, though, that next year there'll be the same media brouhaha, but they'll have to go one step further. What on earth can they do next year? So this is another telly thing that kind of like, it's sort of like, made me a bit like, but also a bit, I kept seeing a trailer when I was watching other stuff between other shows. And this makes it sound like I spend all day watching and critiquing TV. I don't. I listen. I use TV, or should I say these hubs. Does it count as TV if it's on the computer? It's TV shows. I use them almost like you would a radio. Just listening while you're doing other things. Anyway, I kept hearing and also seeing a trailer for a new TV show. And I thought, ooh, that looks good. That looks just my kind of thing. I wrote the title down. It's called Doll Factory. And the reason it appealed was immediately visually, I thought, oh yeah, this is my kind of thing, even before I knew what it was about. So it's a show, it's for TV, and it's set in, I'm not sure when, about 1850 or so. Maybe a bit later, 1870. It's Victorian. And there's this very, sort of very beautiful, she almost looks like porcelain herself, beautiful actress. The part she's playing, it's the story of a young woman who works at a doll factory. So already we're into that kind of creepy territory, because dolls, they can be really creepy, can't they? And her job is to paint the faces onto the porcelain. So remember, we're in Victorian times, so the dolls are a porcelain face, maybe porcelain hands and feet, but the rest of the body is a stuffed soft body. So her job is to paint these faces on these beautiful little porcelain dolls. And the other words I heard in the advert were taxidermist, fascinating art form, also slightly creepy, and pre-Raphaelite artist. So I think the premise is that she gets spotted by this young pre-Raphaelite artist, and he asks her to model for him. That's about as much as I know. But all the visual imagery in this fairly short trailer, gorgeous, totally my kind of thing. A little bit, it's Victorian, high Victorian, so there's a little bit of gothic, bit pre-Raphaelite, bit spooky, bit, is this a ghost story? There's something a bit sinister, that's the word, it's sinister, about the whole thing. And I thought, ooh, brilliant. And I saw this when I was watching something else on my Channel 5 hub that's called My 5. And I thought, oh yeah, that looks just my ticket. I think it's very rare that I sit down to watch a drama that's a series. I normally would sit and watch, if I'm going to sit and watch, it'll be something that's on for an hour, maybe 2 hours of film, but that's complete in itself. Because to commit to, I don't know how many episodes this is, but maybe 5 or 6, to commit to 6 episodes, I find that quite often I'll end up missing episode 2 and 3. I try and watch episode 4, but it doesn't work. But I thought for this one, I was so intrigued. I thought, you know what? This is one of those that, yeah, over the winter, I'm going to say to myself, yeah, that can be my Saturday night treat. I don't know what day it was going to air on Earth telly, not Earth telly, but normal telly. I don't know what day it was going to air, but normally with the hub stuff you have to wait until it's aired on TV before you can watch it on the hub. And I thought, fine, I can imagine that being a really great Saturday night, midnight or so watch for me. When everything else is done, I can sit down and, brilliant. So I was about to watch episode 1, and normally when you go on the hub, it will show you, there'll be buttons and it'll say season 1, episode 1, if there's more seasons. Season 1, episode 2, season 1, episode 3, And it just had episode 1, and I thought, I was looking for a drop-down menu, where's it? So it turns out that on telly, on Earth telly, and on the hub, they're only going to show 1 episode, the first episode. For the rest, it's over on a completely different platform that's one that you have to pay for, like, which one is it on? I did Paramount. So then you have to go and pay for it. What's the point of showing us 1 episode? Well, I know what the point is. I was going to say, what's the point of showing me 1 episode of something on this free-to-view channel on my computer if I then can't see the rest? Of course, the reason they do that is to get me so intrigued and into it that I then go and buy the rest of the series. That's the first time I've seen that being done. It's possible that it's happened many times before, but now I'm not. What I hope is that maybe in another year's time, just starting to feel chilly. Get me poncho in a sec. I'm hoping that in another year's time, after loads and loads of people have watched it via the paying thing, is that they'll release the whole thing on the free to view, but you have to watch adverts channels. Yeah. That was a bit of a disappointment, but life's too short to be disappointed by things like that. And also, ultimately, there's so much entertainment out there for 0 cost. I can pick something else. Actually, more on that in a second. I just have to quickly do something. I just wanted to go and quickly check on the computer to make sure that rendering of the video I've edited is actually happening. Yes. I also wanted to see, is it going any quicker now I've bought this program? It's the same program that I was using. I was kind of wishful thinking, hoping it might go a bit quicker. It hasn't, but it's going. That's brilliant. So a couple of other telly things, because I don't want this to go on too long. I probably will. The other thing that occurred to me a couple of nights ago, I quite often end up watching stuff at midnight, 1 in the morning, partly because I can't sleep and partly because the day it's about work, work, busy, evening phone call, whatever it is. So usually it's about midnight when I can finally go, I'm going to stop everything and actually watch. That's my time to watch. And I've caught the tail end twice now of 2 fantastic shows. And the reason it got me thinking was because both of them brilliant shows, but buried in the middle of the night. So one of the ones I watched it's actually really, I don't know when it was. Did they start in the 70s and go into the 80s? A really old programme that BBC used to do called Arena, which was always a sort of art culture show. Sorry, excuse me. And the one I saw, I don't know when it was from. I think it was from the 70s. It's just a random thing in the middle of the night. It was the Arena show where they interviewed Peter Shaffer, the playwright. It was utterly engrossing. I was looking for something. I landed on that, and then I was sort of, for the next 25 minutes, just sat there going, just utterly engrossed. And the whole piece finished with, he's a playwright. I said that, didn't I? The whole piece finished with a really short extract of his production of Equus, at the National Theatre, which must have been 75, 76. I'm not sure exactly when. It was when I was a little tiny girl still. So before my theatre time. Just a short extract. Obviously it was videoed or filmed when it was on stage at the National. It was absolutely... Sorry, excuse me. I just sat there gobsmacked. That one particular extract, so powerful, amazing. But the whole interview, really interesting, sort of man and God and humans' desire for transcendence and the art of writing, the act of writing, the discipline, the thought process. It was enthralling, utterly enthralling. It got to the end and I thought, no, I want more. Give me more. I really want to see more of this. So that was a couple of nights ago. Now, a couple of weeks ago, in a similar vein, I'm going to tie these two together now. I caught the tail end of a new production, or more recent production, of Richard III, Shakespeare's Richard III, with Benedict Cumberbatch as Richard. Oh my God, it was stunning. I really only saw the end, pretty much the final battle, the famous battle, and almost everybody will know one of the lines from it and not necessarily know where it's from. They don't know why they know it, but they all know the quote of a horse, my kingdom for a horse. And that happens right at the end of Richard III, where the battle sequence in this, it's filmed, wasn't a stage version. I mean, it was so graphic, bloody, gory, horrific, as it should be. This is a war. This is two sides fighting to the death. But my God, it was graphic. In this muddy, sodden field, this quagmire, it was horrific. But in the right way, if there's a right way. What I mean is, it's weird to kind of think of horror, that kind of horror, as being entertainment, but the representation was perfect for Shakespeare's Richard III, and that moment where he's been dehorsed, which makes him incredibly vulnerable. It means now he's on the ground. He's probably going to get killed. I won't give the ending away, but we all know the ending, don't we? Just in this quagmire, the pelting rain, this vile horror going on all around him, and he's screaming because it's so noisy. This battlefield is noisy, never mind the mud and the rain, it's noisy, and he's screaming, a horse. He needs a horse. He knows he needs to get back on a horse. If he doesn't get a horse, he's going to be killed. So the way, I'm getting all emotional now, but the way he screams, a horse, he needs a horse. And he will give anything for a horse. In that moment, he will give his kingdom for a horse. Just give me a damn horse so I can get out of here and live. It was brilliant, spectacular, moving, exciting, amazing, brilliant. It was on in the middle of the night. How many people saw it? How many other people were awake that night watching Benedict Cumberbatch in the mud screaming for a horse brilliantly? So what both of those two things made me sort of a bit sad about is that they deserve prime time viewing slots. What have we got at prime time? Love Island, Married at First Sight, I'm a Celebrity, give me something else to eat to make viewers laugh. EastEnders, Coronation Street, it's all just this brain schlock nonsense. Now, I'm not suggesting take all that off telly, because I know there's, I was going to say hundreds, probably millions of people who love those shows, and I don't want to spoil their fun. But can we also have a bit of decent stuff too? Dare I say it, a bit of stuff that challenges us, challenges our intellect, challenges our thoughts, challenges our emotions, challenges our philosophy for life. I just feel that sort of primetime TV between 6 and 10 of an evening is just utter, it's wallpaper, it's dross. And I don't mean to offend anyone who likes that stuff. I'm really sorry. I don't mean to offend, I honestly don't. And I'm not, like I say, I don't think get rid of it all. But can we please have something else as well, so that if we don't really care for watching yet another young woman with fake hair, fake eyebrows, fake eyelashes, fake lips, fake breasts, fake nails, fake handbag, getting off with some boy who's got all of his fake stuff going on as well. If we don't want to watch that, can we please have something good to watch? And imagine, when I got to the end of Richard III, as I say, I only saw the last half an hour or so of it. I got to the end and I thought, wow, show this in schools. This is amazing. And I was immediately having flashbacks to me in school, because I didn't get on with Shakespeare until I was well into my 20s. And the first time Shakespeare really came into my life, as it were, I didn't walk through the door, I think I must have been 13 or 14 at school. And for our English lit class, we were all, actually not all, it was one between two, dumped a copy of Macbeth on the desks. And our poor teacher tried to make it interesting, tried to make it exciting, but we just didn't understand the language. And then it was that awful thing, that the teacher's like, right, okay, we're going to read it out loud with each other. But we're idiot kids. We don't know how to read it out loud. We're not professional actors. We don't understand iambic pentameter. And actually, most people don't. But when you hear it and it's done right, then the whole language comes alive. And even if you don't know particular individual words, the meaning is so clear with a good actor and a good director. If a good actor is delivering those lines, we get it, we understand it. So yeah, I just think it's a bit sad that such great stuff, yes, difficult, yes, challenging, and yes, wake your brain up, come on, let's do some stuff up here, that it's buried in the middle of the night. And then what most people have access to, most people who are going to bed at 10 or 11 at night because they've got to get up for work the next day, what have they got for entertainment in the evening? It's absolute dross. Yeah, anyway, so look, if you get a chance, so the Richard III, it was about, I don't know, it's 2 or 3 weeks ago now, but you can bet your bottom dollar I have been on, I don't know, about 4 round trips of my high street to all my charity shops, desperately hoping to see it as a DVD. I don't normally look at DVDs, but I have been looking for that DVD because I want to see the whole thing. And I thought to myself as well, even if I can't find that, I just want to find any Shakespeare on DVD because it's done well. I mean, it's everything, isn't it? Love, hate, anger, sorrow, fear, war. I mean, Shakespeare does the lot. Does it brilliantly. So yeah, I really want to, I haven't found anything yet. I'm going to keep looking, and that will be some kind of treat entertainment so I can watch it not at 1 o'clock in the morning, but maybe at 7 or 8 in the evening as I'm having my supper. If I can bear to, actually, if I was watching Richard III, I wouldn't be able to eat. Not because of the gore, but just because it was utterly captivating. I couldn't take my eyes off it. I felt, by the end of it, I felt emotionally just, how to describe it, I felt exhausted. Brilliantly though, brilliantly exhausted. Right, okay. I've burbled long enough about telly and adverts, and I realise I've been talking about stuff that's making me like, oh, I don't like that advert, and I don't like this schedule for the TV, and I don't like EastEnders. No, I don't mean any in a negative way, but more as a sort of let's be better than waiting for a trailer for an advert. Let's be better than that. Let's use our time to watch and listen to things that have a little bit of weight to them. Who cares about the blooming Christmas ads? I don't. Anyway, all right, lovelies. Whatever you're viewing, enjoy it. And yeah, just to say once again, probably the third time, I'm not suggesting that all that light entertainment be taken off telly. I wouldn't dream of doing that. I know I'd be a massive party poop because so many people really, really enjoy it. It's just, I wish there was a little bit of an alternative for people who don't want that, but want something else. That's all. All right, lovelies, whatever you're viewing, enjoy it. And when the adverts come on, jump up, run around, not necessarily run, move around, stretch, do a bit of this, do a bit of that, do the washing up, put the put the kettle on for a cuppa. Let's not get sucked into being made to cry for an advert. Oh, carrots, I can't go on. Okay, enough. I will see you all again really soon, I hope. I'm not sure where we're at in things and what will be the next thing. So we'll just see what happens in the next one. Until then, please look after yourselves. Take care. Take care of this. Take care of this. And take care of each other. Cheerio.